Hello everyone, thanks for joining me for today's workout. Today we'll be doing a mix of yoga and Pilates with a focus on the upper body and arms. I've got some small weights with me today. You can always do this without weights if that feels more comfortable, but if you've got something small at home, a 1 kg, 1.5, 2 kg, whatever you've got, if you don't have weights, you could use a couple of bottles of water instead. And remember, every time you do this workout, you can always switch up the weights, adding more or taking some out. Let's get started. Come on over onto your hands and knees. Take your weights over to the sides. And let's start in our tabletop position. So wrists comfortably under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Beautiful. And then we will start off, just check that you've got a nice posture here. Tuck that belly button in to the spine. Check that you're pressing down through the columns of the arms. You've got length all the way from the tailbone, up through the back and out to the crown of the head. We'll start by taking the right leg out long. You could stay on the tips of the right toes. You could lift this right heel, the right leg up just in line with that right hip. And then ground down into your right arm. As you lift the left, grab one of your weights and then sweep this left hand towards the back of your mat. Nice and steady here. Check in with your balance. Really press that belly button up into the spine. And then when you're ready, as we take our next inhalation, let's lower that left hand down and the right foot down, tapping the mat, and then exhaling to lift. Inhaling to lower and exhaling to lift. Continue those movements as you lift with the weight. Really squeeze that left shoulder behind in the back body. As you lift with the leg, really press into that right side of the glute. And continuing those movements, let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's lower the knee, lower the hand, press back into your child's pose. So sit bones back towards the heels, reach those arms out long. Knees can be as narrow or as wide as feels comfortable in your body. Come up onto the tips of your fingers, lifting the palms up, reaching those arms long, but squeezing the shoulder blades back and down. Staying up on those fingertips, let's take a walk over to your left hand side. Nice length in the body. Go to a distance that feels comfortable. Roll that right rib cage under. Check that the sit bones are still drawing back towards the heels. Give yourself a full breath in and a full breath out. Then walk yourself back on the fingertips over to the center of your mat. And then take it over to your right hand side. Again, going to a distance that feels comfortable. Lengthening down that left side body, staying up on the fingertips. Reaching those sit bones back towards the heels. Let's come back into the center and then rise up into your tabletop position once again as we take it over to the opposite side. So ground down through the left hand. Let's take this left leg out long. Remember, you can stay on the tips of the toes or you can lift that left leg up. Then take one of your weights into your right hand and sweep that right hand behind. Do a little press of that right shoulder into the back body. Beautiful. On your next breath in, let's go for a tap down with the foot, with the hand, and then exhale to lift. Continuing those movements. Remember, keep that belly button pressing into the spine. Every time you lift up with the leg and with the arm, squeeze into the glute, squeeze into that right shoulder. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing the knee, releasing that weight down. Come back into that child's pose position once again. Lowering the forehead down onto the mat this time. Take a big breath in. Open the mouth and exhale, let it go. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Let's use that next inhalation to come back up onto the hands and knees. Then come forward with the pelvis. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Coming in to your plank position here on the knees. Really press that belly button into the spine. Press the tops of the feet into your mats. Let's take a big breath in together. And as we exhale, we press the elbows back towards the back of the mat as we lower all the way down with the belly, the chest, the head. Squeeze the elbows into the side body. Let's inhale as we lift the head, lift the chest just to a distance that feels comfortable for you. Exhale as you lower down, and we'll take another 2 like this in our baby cobra. Let's inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. Exhale to lower. One more, inhale, lifting the head, lifting the chest. Exhaling to lower, and this time press back through your tabletop and then back into your child's pose. Pause for a breath. And then come back into your tabletop position. Find that plank position on the knees. Tops of the feet press into the mat. As we exhale, we lower down, elbows squeeze back. Inhale to lift. Exhale as you lower, keep the elbows close into the body. 2 more, inhaling lifts. Exhaling lower. 1 more, baby cobra. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. And then press back up into your tabletop. Beautiful. Come back into your child's pose. Take a breath here. And then when you're ready, come back into your tabletop position and then come into a kneeling position. Grabbing your weights, find a position that's comfortable on the knees here, and you might like to get a rolled up towel, pop it under the knees. You might like to double over your mat and give yourself that extra support on the knees. So in this high kneeling, tops of the feet deliberately press into your mat. Press the belly button into the spine. Tuck the tailbone under. So we've got nice length in the spine. We've got the weights in the hands down by the sides. Let's take a couple of shoulder rolls here. Taking the shoulders up towards the ears on the breath in and rolling them back and down on the breath out. Let's take 1 more big breath in, squeeze those shoulders up, breath out, roll those shoulders back. And let's open up the arms here out in line with the shoulder blades. Keep open through the chest. Remember, keep that tailbone tucked, keep the belly button pressing back towards the spine. As we take some circles here with the arms, taking 5 circles in one direction, and then pausing and taking 5 circles in the opposite direction. Let's flow the arms back down. And then take the arms out to the front, the backs of the hands facing forward as we lift the arms up out in line with the chest. Remember, keep that length in the spine, keep the tops of the feet pressing into your mat. Let's inhale as we lower the arms back down towards the legs, and then exhale to lift. Continue those movements, just moving with your breath. Lifting up, remember, keep the shoulder blades back and down. Inhaling to lower. Beautiful. Let's go for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, let's take the arms out to the sides. And this time it's an inhale to lower and an exhale to lift. Continuing those movements. Being mindful to keep the shoulder blades squeezing together in the back body. Trying to lift the weights equal on either side. Let's go for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's hold out here. And then let's flip the palms up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to take the weights in towards the shoulders and back out. In towards the shoulders and back out. Continue those movements. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Keep the arms open, but this time turn the palms towards the front. Keep the elbows here out in line with the shoulders. Beautiful. We're going to lift the weights up and then draw those elbows back down towards the shoulders. Lifting the weights up over the head, drawing the elbows towards the shoulders. Lifting and bringing the elbows back. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take the elbows just down in line with the shoulders. Take a moment here to check in with that posture. And then we're going to draw the elbows in towards the chest and open back up. Elbows draw into the chest and open. Elbows draw in and open. Let's go for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Open up with the arms. Beautiful. Then let's lower the weights back down. Come back over onto your hands and knees in your tabletop position. We've got those wrists under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. As we take one of our downward cats, so start to tuck the tailbone under as you squeeze that belly button up into the spine. You start to round out through the shoulders and take the gaze in between the knees. Then reversing that shape, let's start at the bottom of the spine. Roll that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Start to drop the chest down as you squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another in the back body and take the gaze upwards. Start to move with your breath now. As you exhale, start to reverse this shape, rounding up. As you inhale, come back into those forward movements, those upward cats. Reversing the shape. Really noticing how your spine feels here, giving yourself some time to move through the shape. Remember, we're not in any rush here. If you'd like to add on, as you come downward in this next movement, you might like to press into the tops of the feet so that you can lift the knees a couple of centimeters off of your mat, really round up through the shoulders. And then as you come back down, lower the knees softly back onto the mat. Take that gaze upwards. Lower, deciding if you want to take those lifts with the knees. Let's do 2 more wherever you are. Take your time. Nice full breaths to move. Beautiful. Coming back into that tabletop position. Ground down through the right arm so that you feel safe to lift the left hand. Take the right leg out towards the back. Again, you can stay on the tips of the toes or you can lift that back leg up. We're going to take that weight behind one more time, but this time we're going to bend into this left elbow. Keep the arm close to the body. Roll that left shoulder blade back and down. Squeeze the belly button up into the spine. And then with your next breath out, let's straighten out through that left arm, reaching the hand back. And then inhaling, bend back into that elbow. Continue those movements. Exhale to straighten. Inhale to bend. Exhale to straighten. Inhale to bend. Don't forget about that back leg. Keep squeezing through that right side of the glute. Let's go for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering down and swapping sides. Ground down into that left hand. Let's take the left leg out as we take our weight into the right hand. Decide with the left foot, tip of toes, or lifting it up, squeezing into that left side of the glute. Let's take this right arm back. Roll that right shoulder blade back and down. And let's bend into this right elbow. Keep it close to the side body. Exhale to straighten. Inhale to bend. Exhaling to straighten. Inhaling to bend. Keep that belly button pressing into the spine. Keep squeezing up through that left side of the glutes. Let's go for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering that hand back down, lowering knee down. Finding that child's pose position. Reaching the arms out in front. Take a full breath in through the nose. Open the mouth. Let it go. Take another couple of breaths like that. Deep in through the nose. Full out through the mouth. As you breathe in, feel the belly expand, using that resistance against the thighs. As you breathe out, softening the belly. Let's come back over through hands and knees, but eventually lowering down onto the belly, finding a Sphinx pose. So to come into the Sphinx, we're on the belly, but we come up onto the forearms with the elbows more or less under the shoulders. Have a play around with it and see what feels comfortable for you. The palms are down on the mat. We keep the legs long behind. We just take a moment here to roll side to side on the hips and then find that stillness with the hips just so you can release everything down. It's up to you if you want to keep the gaze down towards the mat, or you could take the gaze out in front. Without moving the elbows, just gently draw them towards the back of the mat. And without moving your belly, see if you can draw that belly button towards the front of the mat. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, let's lower everything down. Take the arms up over the head, nice and long now with the body. Give yourself a moment just to enjoy letting everything go into the mat. And then we're going to lift this right arm up, squeeze that right shoulder blade, and lift the left leg up. Release those down and then swap sides. Lift the left arm, lift the right leg. Release and swap sides. And your option here is to keep the forehead down. If you'd like to add on, you'd like to lift the forehead up, you could gently lift that forehead up. Just remembering to switch sides. Just go at your pace. As you breathe out, lifting. As you breathe in, lowering. Let's take one more to each side. And then stack the hands together under the forehead. Bring the big toes to touch. Take a deep breath in as you press that belly into the mat. And a full breath out as you soften the belly down. Taking a couple more deep breaths here. And then when you feel ready, let's come back up onto the hands and knees and back in to a kneeling position. Thank you for practicing with me today. If you've got any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.